Listen up, maggots. Welcome to the slaughterhouse. Perfect! Attend! Hunt! Okay, these maggots. This is Sergeant Slaughter, and I've been informed that there's some kind of Cobra Convergence happening here at the slaughterhouse, and I, Sergeant Slaughter, have come to put a stop to it. I've re-enlisted with the Joe team.
Hey, Sarge.
What?
Fan event.
What?
Fan event.
Fan event. Fan event. Fan event. Oh, fan event. Well, why did you say so in the first place? The Cobra Convergence is a G.I. Joe fan event. Well, I'll allow that. So carry on. But you, Hooded Cobra Commander 788, I, Sergeant Slaughter, am keeping an eye on you. Is that clear, slime ball? And that's in order. Until then, as you were, enjoy the show and don't forget to slaughterize it. Now always remember to keep your chins up, your chests out, and never, and I, Sergeant Slaughter, mean never, ever let your enemy or Cobra eat your breakfast. Yo, Joe!
Yo, Joe! Actually, should we be saying Cobra? Because it is Cobra Convergence 7. Today's date is the 1st of July here in Australia. So technically, we're not going early. It's just you guys are late to the party.
Yeah, we're on the wrong side of the globe.
Yeah, get on the right time zone, guys. But just like last year, I decided to do a live stream on the 1st of July Australian time, which means that, guys, you get to have a little bit of extra Cobra Convergence. And I want to say hello to everybody first. So we've got Marianne. How are you, Marianne?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, too good. We've got Brian, Hooded Cobra Commander 788. Hello, how are you?
How do you do?
Steve from G.I. Joe Berg.
Yo.
And Elliot in the background.
Yeah. Just before we begin the proceedings, I must apologize in advance if I'm called away suddenly. This is mid-morning for me, and the 2-year-old is the commander. We might have Hooded Cobra Commander in attendance, but the real commander is the little guy.
Fair enough. And a big thumb kiss, pow, to my buddy Gazz, the best of the best. Ain't nobody doing it better than Gazz. Gazz, good to see you on screen. A lot of things that I heard at Joe Fest was, who's this handsome man? I'm like, that's Gazz. You know Gazz. Trust me, you know Gazz. No. Guys.
Everybody knows Gazz.
So the I was going to say the Cobra Commander. No, the Cobra Convergence for this year, the topic is spies, espionage, the double agent, basically. And I thought, well, you know what? This is an interesting way to start bringing in a conversation to do with these guys, the Renegades. Thank you to 3D Joes for these awesome images. If you don't know 3D Joes and you don't know G.I. Joe, get out there and check them out. They are the best of the best as far as content. And I did meet Carson. He is a legend of a dude as well. That's where I met Joe Fest. If anyone's interested in my Joe Fest discussion, we won't be doing it today, but tomorrow, if you see behind me, I will be talking all things Joe Fest, my trip to the USA and Canada. So do check that out tomorrow or tonight. Oh, it'll be tomorrow night for you guys. Tomorrow morning. You know what? I don't know. Just check it out later. It'll be tomorrow for me. So we'll say a quick hello to the chat, and then we'll get into the show. So we've got Johnny's here. Be there. He was here. Channel member David is here. Hello, David. Thank you for being a channel member. The RetroTinker. How are you, good sir? We've got Phil from Treasures for Trigger. How are you, buddy? Chat champion classified in the chat. And we've got Lloyds of London. How are you, buddy? Jewel Who 9, the best of the Jewel Who's. Dale is here. How are you, Dale? Cindy made it. Hello, Cindy. Thank you for being a channel member. And TJC, another channel member. Look at all these legends. Wilhelm shouting out a Cobra and a fan of Serpentor in Lloyds of London. And I think I've gotten everyone. If I've missed someone, do let me know. Oh, Ratface is here. Handsome man, Ratface. What's up? JLS Comics, the convergence is upon us. If you want to see a really good Renegades video, then go check out JLS Comics. They did a really great video all about the Renegades. Today's topic, in fact.
Yes.
Leanie is here. Good morning. And I think I've caught up with anyone. If I miss someone, just write down in the comments, oi, you missed me. So I can see, Steve, you've already held up a couple of your Renegades there. And I do want to shout out the G.I. Joeberg Play Motion that I got to be a part of, which introduced to the Play Motion universe of G.I. Joeberg, the Renegades.
And Zazel, in the same breath, you need to make mention of the fact that you were chiefly responsible for the plotting of that piece. I mean, there were a couple of beers involved, and I was present at the time. But I'm pretty sure you were the guiding hand on. You were like, "This is going to be a Sarge story. I want in, and give me the wheel, Steve." So, I mean, that is your play motion.
Well, let's say it's our play motion. I was just happy to hang out and play with toys. Speaking of hanging out and playing with toys, guess who just kicked the door in? Pow! Hans Chow.
See, Hans got the memo. Hans got the memo on the. Well,
yeah.
Well done, sir.
I had children sleep.
I'll have to go and change my shirt to the same one you guys are wearing.
No, I love the shirt. It's an excellent shirt.
Yeah, it's a great shirt. Kelly Remus, Slaughter Daughter herself, came up with the graphic for that shirt, and I can see yours is signed by the Sarge himself. So I like that you're wearing it. The second best graphic is obviously Megaforce, and I think Gazz will agree.
Yes, sir.
Wham, bam, chow. Pow, chow. How are you, Hans? We did the introductions already, but let's see how you're going.
I am doing just fine. It is exam time right now, so the boys are doing everything that they have to do to pass. Soon the reports will be in, and I'm saying goodbye to a couple students because some of them are leaving, moving abroad, and some of them are moving to another firm above me. And some tearful goodbyes were exchanged because despite how miserable some of these students are and how mischievous they are, I do see echoes of myself and my friends in them because, that's just how we were growing up. And I know that they're all
he froze. He's so
going to be
emotional.
great kids, even though they're filthy. Yeah. And I signed a lot of shirts and I didn't let them sign mine because mine is a white, Gucci shirt, and that's not happening. Sorry.
Fair enough. All right, let's get into the Renegades. Let's go roundtable first and just get everyone's quick opinion on the Renegades. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Marianne, I know you're a big fan of the Renegades.
Oh.
Yeah, thumbs up. Good. I
I'm
thought
here for
so.
emotional support. I have no idea what's going on.
Oh, well, maybe you'll learn something. You're about to see some serious shit.
Yeah.
So Classified's got the link in there for the Renegades. Thanks for doing that, Chat Champion Classified. Brian, thumbs up or thumbs down as far as the Renegades are concerned? Oh, a bit of up, bit of down.
Ooh.
I have mixed feelings about it. But I really do like Mercer, and I kind of like Red Dog as well. So yeah, look, this is you get the unvarnished, opinions here.
Perfect.
I've committed to that. Whatever.
Perfect. All right, Steve, where are we at with the Renegades? Do you think?
As a child,
right.
However, after getting appreciation for it with users, my opinion has definitely elevated to the point where I think these characters are essential to G.I. Joe.
Excellent. We'll do a deep dive into that in a moment. Gazz, where are you at? Thumbs up or thumbs down for the Renegades?
I'm gonna give him a double thumbs up.
Double thumbs up. Perfect.
Double thumbs up.
Loving that. And Hans Chow, thumbs up, thumbs down as far as the Renegades are concerned.
I agree with Gaz. 2 thumbs up for the Renegades as well. But if you ask me about the Marauders, though, I'll do this. So.
They don't have thumbs, remember?
Yeah, that's right. If you're lucky that they do have thumbs at all. All right. Well, Hans, I'll bring you back for a Marauders discussion. We can figure out where your hatred lies. All right. So for me, I will give and maybe I'm biased because I'm a Sarge fan, but anything that says Sergeant Slaughter's anything, I'm already all over, right? So for me, I'm going to give them 2 thumbs up as well. Pow, 2 thumbs up for the Renegades. But I often see the Mercer getting the most love because of the interesting backstory that he has, and Taurus getting the least amount of love for reasons I'm not too sure, because I think, having spent some time with him, with Steve, I think Taurus has become maybe my favorite one, to the point maybe it's the beard, but to the point where when I was doing my Slaughterhouse Wrestling Championship, Taurus was the only one so far out of all of the Renegades to actually get a spotlight episode. He's got no lines. He's like a quiet, I guess a quiet man, doesn't have any lines, but he speaks volumes as far as his dedication to the Sarge. But and there, maybe some of the reason why I didn't give him any lines is I couldn't possibly do it any better than Steve. And Steve does a great Taurus impression. And I already asked Steve to do like 100 other lines. I was like, I can't ask him to do one more. Woodman29 is here, and if I'm correct, Woodman29 kicks off Cobra Convergence tomorrow, being the first for you guys. Would you say that is accurate?
That is correct.
There we are.
Thank you,
So
Woodman29.
Do not miss out on that. Woodman29 kicking off Cobra Convergence tomorrow. The real first for you guys. But for me, this is the first for me. All right. Yes, correct. Good. I do want to shout out, check out the website if you want to see the list of contributors or contributors, depending on how you want to pronounce that. Some of them are YouTube, some of them are podcasts, and some of them are just, what do you call that? What is it when you go to a website and you read a blog? Some of them are blogs, right?
Yes. Correct.
Yeah. Good stuff. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Chat Champion Classified, throwing that link in the chat for us. Good stuff.
Thank you.
So if you need to know where to go, I think I've also got it in the description. If you need to know where to go, that's the best place to check out, because not all of it is on YouTube. It's scattered all over the internet. All right. So before we go into our divisiveness as far as the Renegades are concerned, I do just want to really touch very quickly on their animated appearance. Now, Transformers, get out of here. G.I. Joe the movie was the first, and for 2 out of 3, the only way that you could see these guys in animated form. The exception being Mercer, who did show up in the Deke animated series. But what's interesting about this image is that they were given, quick hello in the chat to Anthony. How are you, buddy? So what's interesting about this image is that they were giving very specific weapons for Taurus and Red Dog here, and neither of them came with those weapons. And I know we'll take a look at the images on 3D Joe's in a moment, but when their weapons were given to them in the 3-pack, they weren't necessarily separated into their own bubbles. They were all in one pack. So how do you decide who gets what? I mean, the guns are on the picture, but the backpacks, who can tell? JoeFan84, how are you, buddy? So G.I. Joe the movie. Who thinks that they did a stellar job of these characters in G.I. Joe the movie?
I like the way they were portrayed. Sorry, I just put it right in there.
Marianne's got a strong opinion on it.
She hasn't seen it yet.
What?
I've seen it. I'm indifferent, I guess.
Well, spoiler alert.
Oh, that?
Yeah.
No, I guess I haven't.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
She hasn't seen it yet. So she
Okay.
loves it.
Sorry,
Which-
like I said, I have no idea what's going on.
If you had to pick one of these three gentlemen, which one would you take on a date?
On a date,
Yes.
I'll take
We need a
Boris.
opinion.
Why not all three?
That's,
Oh my gosh! Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic!
I can see what kind of show this is going to be. Welcome to Cobra Convergence, everyone. We're converging in more ways than one this year.
This is not the convergence I thought that was going to happen. Yeah, we're going to have to change that, I think, Brian.
Yes. Actually, I was thinking, I hadn't quite decided if I was going to do the super long live stream on the 4th of July this year, like I have the last couple of years. But if I did, and if she could be here
I'm
for at
able to
least
be here,
part
yeah.
of it, then maybe that would be the opportunity to fire up the 87 movie and subject you to that.
You
know what we
I've
could
seen
do?
some of the worst movies with you.
That is true. You've seen worse.
Yeah.
She's seen worse.
Seen some
You
pretty
should have a
bad
poll and see where, put timestamps down to see where Marianne falls asleep, and we'll see who can win the bet.
I'll make sure to capture that live.
So I think the Renegades, whilst some of them are shown to be a little bit dumb, a little bit silly, I think the fact that they were able to infiltrate the Terradrome and do considerable damage shows that they are, whilst not officially part of G.I. Joe, are at least capable in what they do. So I think that if you just isolate, and I've done this so many times, but if you just isolate the Renegade portion and turn it into like a mini movie or a mini episode, it plays well. It plays really well. You've got the introduction, you've got the main battle, and you've got the conclusion, which is the destruction of the Terradrome. I love them. But so here we are. We've got the three Renegades in the bubble. So someone tell me, other than the weapons which are in the hands of the Renegades here, how did we decide who got what backpack?
I think that's a
Well,
really
very
good
easy
question.
for the
Like,
South
I
African
think
markets
we all
because
just sort
they're
of
all
go
still
based on
stock.
what's on yojo.com or whatever. But I'm not sure, like, who was the first one to decide, who gets what.
Right. I wonder if it was in the catalogs or anything as well, if they showed which accessory they came with. I will actually, I've got some of the images coming up shortly for their the pre-production images, so maybe there's some answers there. But as a kid, getting this pack, you can, I don't know. Stephen, you had an opinion on how we came up with the backpacks?
Well, no, I more of an anecdote, personal story. But in South Africa, we got the, I suppose, the overflow European market releases. So these were single carded. So
Right.
we were cheating. We knew which one went to which figure because hopefully you took cognizance of which bubble it came out of. But yeah, we had the single carded Renegades with their individual artworks. Very interesting.
That is interesting. So I guess there was a couple of kids out there that only maybe got one or two and didn't get the full force.
Also,
shout
there
out
was
to-
no reference to Sergeant Slammer on the packaging front, so we didn't know that this was a team. We just knew that they were kind of a little bit shortchanged in terms of accessories, which is
Right.
why my opinion of a child was negative.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this guy's lame. He's only got a gun and a backpack. There's a guy with like a helmet, a dive pack, a buoy, the
Sure.
pipe. I want the guys with the big accessory counts. These guys seemed a bit light.
Oh, Gap is here too. How are you, Gap? Well, that answers the question as far as how you were able to figure out who came with what. The single packs, were they Action Force or G.I. Joe still?
G.I. Joe, the Action Force. It was the transitionary year. That was the 1990 UK series. So they tried to sort of conjoin both logos on one card. But then the very next year, it was straight up G.I. Joe. Action Force was no more.
Right. Did anyone here have this, the 3-pack as a kid?
I did not. I was aware of it, but I didn't pick this up or the Cobra Law 3-pack.
I was given the choice. I could get this, or I could get Sergeant Slaughter the triple T. And that was an easy choice for me. I got the triple T with Sergeant Slaughter.
That is a good choice. That is a very good choice. Gaz, did you have this?
I did not.
Steve, did you get the single packs, or you passed on it because you didn't think the accessories were?
These were the kind of GI Joes that were given to friends as birthday presents. So
Right.
yes, I had my mom buy them, but I was like, no, you can give that to David on his birthday. I remember distinctly Tauren and Norgahide both being gifted, and I guess there's something about the yellow with the red. You guys are identical.
Oh,
Steve disconnected. Where'd he go?
is there?
Where is he? Come back. There he is. Hello.
Muted.
I can't hear you, buddy. Sorry, Steve, I can't hear you.
It's funny how Elliot went for Mercer first because Mercer's the coolest one.
In the meantime, I was refreshing my memory by pulling up the 87 catalog. And in the catalog, in the photo, you can kind of see the backpacks, but you can't see them very clearly. You could probably guess which one is which.
In the catalog, you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you go about it scientifically, you know exactly whose backpack belongs to who, because the black one goes with Mercer because it's black like his own. The reissue one, I can't remember who it is, that belongs to Red Dog, but the one with the two canteens, that's definitely Taurus's, because one canteen is full of water and the other canteen is probably full of alcohol, so that probably definitely belongs to him. See, science.
Isn't that Recondo's backpack?
I think they're all reused backpacks, aren't they?
Yeah, they're all reused backpacks.
That's Flint's, right? Flint, Recondo.
So, Steve, you're still muted, I think. But...
I'm back.
Oh, okay, I can hear you now. I do want to bring this up. I do want to bring this up real quick. Dale makes a point. He goes, Mercer reminds me of Dolph Lundgren with black hair, especially using the big giant like Magnum, like Arnold Schwarzenegger from Red Heat. So if you're in Transformers, I've done it again. In G.I. Joe, the movie, if you listen to the commentary, it is said that Mercer was Dolph Lundgren inspired. Taurus was inspired by the Iron Sheik, rest in peace. And Red Dog was inspired by
The Undertaker.
Close. Superfly. Superfly. Oh, thanks, David, for the super sticker. I appreciate that, buddy.
So, out of curiosity, to Steven, was the card art that art right there for each single figure? No,
not original artwork.
So they had original artwork.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was somewhat based on this artwork. Mercer's also got his fist up, but yeah, they have more upright stances. Because I mean, as you can see, the artwork as it stands on the 3-pack kind of occupies a very horizontal space. Everyone's kind of quite wide. Right. Whereas if you have to have a more narrow card with the bubble alongside, the stance has to be a bit more upright. So yeah, I have shared them once upon a time. But I can track them down again and put them on the Instagram or something. But yeah, they're fascinating. They have that kind of Dorito style, but a little bit like thicker and fatter and more 90s in its approach. Whoa, what is that?
So that is the pre-production image, prototype Mercer. And I can tell you, this one's not bad. I kind of like it. Anyone have any strong opinions one way or another?
His head's wider. I mean, I like the production one, so you know I'm good with that one. This is fine too. It's I don't know. The face seems puffier.
Yeah.
Because it's probably an old head that they've added more sculpture to and then painted over. I do like what they did with the pistol holster, because the molding process, I mean, obviously this is sculpted onto a torso. That's probably actual sculpture, not molding. Yeah. So it doesn't have this weird thick handle that's kind of misshapen onto the figure's chest. I really like this head. This is the first time seeing this. And they've textured the hair, which obviously they couldn't do on the production version, which is just a smooth, weird, I don't know.
I think he looks
caramel
tougher.
hair.
I think he looks tougher, and I think the actual one that we got sort of has a sad, somber look to him. But we'll take a better look at the original one shortly. But yeah, this guy, he just looks tough. Like you wouldn't mess with this guy. He definitely looks like he used to be part of Cobra.
That's not the same vest with the collar, though, is it? It doesn't look like that.
No, it's
The
sculpted
collar's
on.
more defined. Yeah, it's got
Yeah.
kind of a point to it, and then it dips into the V-neck. That's very cool. Wow.
Yeah,
And I think
agree.
just so that no one in the comments has a go at us, I think Taurus's backpack is Recondo's, Red Dog's is Dusty's, and Mercer's is Flint's, if I'm not mistaken. Just
I believe
recolored.
that's right. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Woodman. Yeah, smash that like button. Thanks, guys. All right, so then we can move on to the next one. Taurus.
Whoa!
That actually looks better.
Yeah,
Oh,
I agree.
Yeah.
It looks like that actor dude that was in the remake of that Denzel Washington movie, the movie.
Um,
Man on fire.
Robert McCall, the 80s show, guy in a Jag. Why can't I think Equalizer?
Shaft.
Is that one? No, the Equalizer, the one hired gun guy that was like, look, Eastern European, went in there
Right.
at the Home Depot. It looks like that dude.
so his beard is way more defined. He's got the twin points coming down off the beard and the twin points of the mustache pointing right up to the sky. I think that this one looks probably the best as far as the head sculpts are concerned out of the three of them. I don't think he quite looks as tough in the chest. I think he's a little bit too thin in the chest. But that head sculpt looks great.
It's less cartoony looking. It's more realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
And then
It's a real testament to show like the artistry that the sculptors at Hasbro in the past used to have, what they were capable of, but the machines were just not capable of replicating their abilities.
right. But this would definitely sell the idea of it. And then we've got last but not least.
Wow.
That's a really nice head sculpt.
Yeah, in comparison to the original one, I think that this one's got a lot more detail. Looks a lot realistic in comparison. And you can see in the background here we've got the original one in the background here to compare them to. And I think while the original one isn't bad, this pre-production one, that's some great sculpting work.
Zazel, do we know if these are 2-ups or if these are 1?
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if it was, but these were used for catalogs and stuff like that. So I'm not too sure. He's got a backpack. We know that.
Yes, of course. The
They
backpack.
could be 2-ups. A lot of times when they sculpted them, well, if they're paint masters, and they could be 2-ups. But on the sculpts, a lot of times they'd use the same lower leg for both left and right, so they wouldn't sculpt both. But if it were the 2-up paint master, it could be.
Either way, it looks
very
pretty damn
sharp.
cool.
Like the face is, I mean, the detail is so fine.
Yeah.
The hair,
ears are.
the individuated hair. Ha!
I think the ears on Red Dog that we got, they're sort of comes off his cheeks, like it just slides straight up. This one's a little bit more defined. The hair, the headband, all of it just looks so good. So good. But that wasn't the only time we got the Renegades in a 3-pack, because they also came in 2006 convention exclusive, back when they were actually doing official G.I. Joe Collectors Club. And for the most part, they're the same 3 bodies. The only difference between Mercer and Red Dog are the head and the arms. Other than that, they're both the same color pattern. They changed the color pattern for the legs on Taurus to give them those green legs. But I think they were possibly Clutch.
Mirage.
The Clutch body. Mirage? From
yeah, with that crisscross
Yeah,
bandolier.
it could have been Mirage.
Looks like maroon. I couldn't tell you about the legs though. That maybe
I should have looked that up before making just guesses.
You're in good company though. You got the commander here. Have you got a Mirage review scheduled?
I don't have a Mirage review, but I do have the figure. Hold on, let me see if I've got a photo of it.
Is this, what was the line that they were from? It was the Mega Marines, right? These are Mega Marine body?
It's definitely Battle Core Gung Ho's arm. I can recognize
Correct.
that baseball grenade. Bloody hell.
So unfortunately, the artwork's great, Hans. I think you could do probably a better job of it. But the unfortunate thing of the Sarge is that he came with the same arms, which weren't quite as buff as the ones we're used to for Sarge. He's also the shortest version of Sergeant Slaughter using the gung-ho body. But yeah, these three guys, they reused the bodies, but they re-sculpted the heads. So while they look almost identical to the original ones, they are actually re-sculpted.
The uniform doesn't do it for me, though.
No.
It's
and that is not Mirage's legs. But I do believe they are Mega Marines, but it's not Mirage.
For some reason, I thought Clutch from Mega Marines. He was one of them, right?
Yeah.
The uniforms kind of make them look like a more culturally diverse version of the Backstreet Boys.
So the story. Actually, I've got the file cards. I'll go through the file cards and we can see the story that was happening around this. So there's a closer image of Mercer.
I get this page to load.
So they just cut off bits of camouflage fatigues and put them on their jeans.
So apparently, according to the story, they're supposed to be a special type of armor, and why they don't have them on their arms, I don't know. But I'll get to the backstory of it in a moment. But you can see here they've decided to tattoo on Mercer's arm the no Cobra sign. So he's decided it's not enough to wear it as a patch. He now has to have it as a tattoo.
I like it. That means he can't switch sides back.
Right.
He'll have to get a cover up.
And if you notice, they've removed the electronic armband, if that's what it was, from Mercer, and he's just got a grenade there now. I don't know whose backpack that is, though. Is that a reuse from somebody? It must be, because if the Collectors Club were using it.
Yeah, I don't recognize it, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Interestingly, Universal Soldier Part 3 or 4 came out in 2006, and I think they had the same camouflage pattern.
Is that right? That wouldn't surprise me either.
You think these are Universal Soldier inspired?
I
think so, yeah.
You know,
Steve, do you know what this backpack is from?
That would be what's his name? Big Bear. Red. Big Bear. What's his name? Big Bear.
Big Bear.
That
Yeah.
was Big Bear. Yeah.
Big Bear.
Big Bear's
Big Bear and Big Ben. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And they were 1 year apart. My goodness.
Yeah.
Both international Joes. Yes. So Big Bear. It's his backpack. Yeah. That's
Phil,
a lot of use in that era. My goodness.
Phil, this was 2006, buddy. Back when we were young and had a slimmer physique. Yeah, and hair. Hair hasn't been a problem for me. We've got Taurus here who finally comes with his sword. I don't know what the name of the sword is, but
Scimitar.
Scimitar, thank you. He's got the bull tattoo on his arm now because it's Taurus, obviously. And I think out of the three of them, I think the yellow collar that he has, I think this one actually kind of looks the best in my opinion. Maybe because he's a bit more individual than the others.
A side note, I believe you are right about the Mega Marines clutch legs. That does look like a match to me.
Okay. We just got to figure out the torso, whatever that was. Someone in the comments will get it. Come on. 2006. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Take me back indeed. I'll say. And then they, like I said, they did resculpt the heads for this. And I think they gave Red Dog a little bit more definition in the face and cleared up some of the issues that his actual figure had with the head sculpt. But for some reason, they've decided to give him a great big red number 1 on his arm. I'm not sure if it was on his chest, obviously, in the original one because of his sports jersey. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's a bit weak, though. I think it could have been.
I like the gun. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, and they did at least try to give them the weapons from the movie for the first time. So that's good news. So here's the story that we get from the 2006 Renegades. So the most of the top stuff is the stuff we're used to, but the bottom portion here, which I'll read out, is a little bit of a continuation of their story. So it says Mercer's loyalty to the one man who gave him a second chance knows no bounds. We're talking about Sergeant Slaughter. Upon hearing of Cobra Commander's challenge to eliminate the Sarge, the former Viper immediately rounded up the other Renegades. The trio suited up in their new body armor system and headed to the top secret training camp to protect their mentor. So there you go. So essentially, the band's getting back together to protect whatever Cobra Commander has in store for Sergeant Slaughter. So that's apparently body armor. There you go.
Well,
can someone do the voice? Because you could read the line in the bottom.
Yeah, who wants to do the Mercer quote? It's a bit blurry.
So you do him do you do him from West Virginia, or do you do him like they did in the cartoon? We'll make him like English.
Is he?
You
English?
decide, Gazz. Gazz, give it a shot.
I can't do an English accent, so no, I'm not going to do it. But what do you guys prefer? Do you guys prefer him as an English guy? Because I like the way he's portrayed in the movie.
Yeah,
He's got like the English. It just sounds like a badass. Sorry, Elliot.
I always feel like all of Cobra came from that side of the world. I don't feel like they're any American. I feel like
I do know Space Commander is appreciative of the voice I gave him for the movie.
Yeah, it's an amazing.
Because when you hear a Viper and they have that English accent, you're like, oh, those guys are bad, right? With an American accent or like a Canadian accent, they don't sound.
Put your hands up, Joes.
Hands up, man.
What do you reckon, Brian? Do you reckon you could give it a go with this quote?
I'm not good at voice acting, but it does amuse me the idea that, as Hans said, Cobra English. You think they're English? It's like the English are trying to take over the world again. So what are they gonna like? They take over the world and make us watch Doctor Who episodes. What is their master plan?
Tea. It's always tea.
It's always tea.
It's tea based.
Hello, Ryan. Good to see you, buddy. All right, Hans. I think you're the guy that's going to do it. You're the voice actor.
I used to be a big bad cobra. Now I'm just a mean snake stomping machine.
Nailed it.
Perfect.
Brilliant.
Bravo. Couldn't have done it better myself. Hans, you're hired. You're hired, baby.
Yeah.
Paul.
All right, then we got Taurus, and again the top stuff is.
How do you pronounce that? His name, code name.
I'm not too sure.
Varuyan?
Maybe?
Varuyan Taurus Ayavai. Steve!
Those are random letters.
They are. Someone sneezed when talking. No disrespect to anyone coming from Istanbul, Turkey.
Istanbul, yeah.
Turkey,
Man,
Istanbul.
Istanbul, yeah.
Instant.
Taurus is the instant bull. It's interesting to me that he's got a very Eastern European sounding name, and yet he's from Turkey. But Turkey is a melting pot, so yeah, I suppose very Russian-looking fella, but he's Turkish. Interesting.
Well, I think for me, the most capable person in the Renegades is Taurus, because I mean, yeah, he was a circus acrobat, but he does undercover work for Interpol.
Yeah.
He's got credentials.
He's got credentials. I think out of the three of them, this guy would probably be the one with the most trustworthy and the most background that would help. Oh, I mean Mercer, sure, but this guy definitely.
Yeah, this guy would show up in From Russia with Love.
Yes, totally.
Mercer
I've always
worked
loved
with
his
Cobra.
classic weapon because it scales very nicely, but it looks antiquated. It's got like a wood grain on the buttstock. So this is some like really like early sniper rifle or collapsible pistol, machine pistol,
It's
you
that
know,
little
from
mini.
like the 1900s.
It's
What
the,
looks
it's the little mini sniper rifle that
Exactly.
that Q branch kid Bond.
Mercer
So-
used to work for Cobra. That does not entail any great deal of intelligence. That's
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
But if you
Hey.
and speaking of intelligence, the fact that he was able to infiltrate the Terradrome with his old PIN code, I mean, come on. All right, so let's go to the little section down the bottom here and find out a little bit further about what happened to Taurus after G.I. Joe the movie. So he goes, hearing of Cobra Commander's threat to the Sarge, Taurus somehow acquired 3 lightweight multi-threat tactical body armor systems from a secret future soldier program being tested in their vicinity. So he's the reason why they got these body armors at all. He outfitted the Renegades and, without thought to his personal safety, rushed off to the Sarge's defense, unaware of the strength of the combined forces with which they would have to contend. So he's definitely loyal to the Sarge and is able to acquire top secret armor systems. So, that's another reason why I think he's probably one of the most capable.
Yeah. That's also why their arms are not armored. He just couldn't carry them all out there.
Right, yeah. It's like, could you imagine him running around with just vests and trousers in his arms?
He's only one man.
All right, Hans, you want to do the quote for Taurus as well? It's exactly like from the movie, but go for it.
I do not like his face. Let us remove it, yes?
Exactly.
Perfect.
Then we've got Red Dog, a Samoan, and his quote is obviously sports inspired. Should we start with the quote, Hans? Let's get your quote out of the way.
I think Steve does a great Red Dog.
He is the Red Dog, man.
I agree. Go for it,
I
Steve.
can try. Well, look, I didn't find any like dialect references for Samoa when I was doing the voice, so I just went Fijian. Like much of a muchness, so I guess it's an oversimplification. But let's go. Oh man, I'm on my mobile, so it's really small. Okay. 4th down, time to punt. You.
Nice.
I
So
love it.
I must also just give you my like secret kit for getting these voices a little bit more legit and make them sound a little bit less like me. I pitch shifted down like 6 tones.
Right.
You think I'm really throwing my voice in Renegades, but actually I'm kind of really deep, rather surreptitiously, just using the software. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
So yeah,
I wouldn't
that's
have
a
guessed
trick
that.
to throwing your voice for sure. Make it deeper.
Well, again, if you guys haven't checked out the Renegade series, do check it out. The fact that Steve does so many voices in that, and you can't pick that it's Steve in all of them. No, he's not all of them. Basically, there was a couple of other cool guys in there, but yeah, he did a great job. But the bottom section of this one is Red Dog may never learn to fully control his animalistic rage because there always seems to be a good use for it. When the Renegades found out about the threat to Sergeant Slaughter by intercepting a message, Red Dog literally chomped at the bit to join the mission to protect him. He was barely contained by his comrades, nearly crazed in his desire to save their leader before his training camp literally becomes its namesake. So I guess they're coming to the slaughterhouse, and they're going to turn it into a slaughterhouse.
So essentially, Red Dog is the Wolverine of G.I. Joe.
You know what? I believe that. Yeah, for sure.
Berserker mode, right?
I have not reviewed these yet, but I'm really looking forward to talking about Red Dog specifically because American Samoa has a great American football tradition. They've sent a lot of players to the professional level, and I'm really eager to discuss that part of Red Dog's inspiration. However, that quote, it's fourth down, time to punt, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Well, it sort of makes sense, but what that basically means is that you're failing. So it's the other team's turn.
Yep.
Well, I'm not a sporty guy, so I have no idea, and apparently neither were the people that were writing these file cards.
Yeah, so that's basically like, okay, time for the other team to have a shot.
Yeah, the fourth
All
down
right.
is not a good place to be.
No.
Samoa doesn't play more rugby.
They may, but they have a lot of American football at the high school level, and they're heavily recruited for college and eventually NFL.
Because I thought, because like honestly, because we don't have American football, also naming it American football is a little, you got a little ego there. But anyway, we play rugby down here, right? So when I first saw Red Dog, I was like, oh, it's a rugby player, cool. And then it's like football, but football you play with your feet. And then I heard you guys call it soccer, and then I stopped thinking about it.
That's a whole thing. But the name Red Dog relates to like a football practice drill. So it's kind of draws all that together. So we'll discuss it when I eventually review it. But I'm very eager to dig into that one. That'll be fun.
I just thought his name was Red Dog because in the movie he bites the thing, and I was like, oh, he's like a dog. He's a rabid dog.
So Ryan
He was my best friend at the time's favorite figure. My best friend was rugby obsessed, and that has created in me a Mandela effect, where I thought the English file card version of Red Dog changed all the American football references to rugby references.
Yeah,
right.
So as an adult, I was trying to find this mythical file card that doesn't actually exist. In fact, in the international file card, it is still referencing American football.
I think
for the longest time, I thought that overseas he was a rugby
I'm kind of surprised they didn't change it because
So
I know
many
that
localizations.
those
Why
aren't
didn't they do
references that are going to be picked up by by most other countries. So yeah, I'm surprised they didn't change it.
It probably would have had to be a very considerable rewrite because, I mean, the file card information, it goes quite heavily into his sporting background. So it would almost be a complete overhaul, I guess.
Some of them did get
not just a place name change or like a one or two words.
in India, he was a rabid cricket player, and his name was Red Cork or something like that.
You being serious?
You come with a cricket bat.
Yeah, the cricket bat.
Went a chunk out of that. Yeah, perfect.
You can localize these in so many different ways. I would have bought that. That would have been pretty cool.
Well, to me, it didn't even look like a football jersey, so I didn't think he was a football player.
Well, it only did because of the number they put on it. But if you look at the Fun School version, it doesn't have that at all.
Oh god, time.
In the Fun School version, which is
really football jersey. It's like a T-shirt that's sort of like a football jersey.
To me, it looks like a basketball.
Yeah, it's more like basketball.
Jersey with a shirt underneath. Yeah, that's what it looks
kind
like.
of the sleeves kind of reminds me of a baseball one, but the two-tone.
Yeah, it looks more like a baseball jersey.
So with the Fun School one not having the one on it, I think also it does look a lot better as a T-shirt without the one. But him being Caucasian makes it a really odd choice for Fun School. But they do that sometimes. So Ryan has this is a good transition. We won't be talking about the Marauders, but we will be talking about a comparison that is often made with the Renegades. So he says the Sergeant's Marauders are a version of the Dirty Dozen to me. And when it comes to the Renegades, I often hear this, and tell me if you guys hear it too, is that the Renegades are a good counterpart or a foil to the Dreadnoks. Do you agree with that statement?
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yes,
I think It's a fair because you've got at least one former Cobra, right? So you kind of want him working with you, but you don't want him too close because how much do you trust him? So yeah, you can send him out there with these guys out in the desert, out with Sergeant Slaughter, and then just keep him out there kind of at arm's length. But they're crazy enough. They're crazy enough to go up against the Dreadnoks.
I think Steve and the Joburg guys discussed it one time, I believe, where they operate more off the books. They're just like that unit that I guess kind of like Ryan's comment. I guess they would be more considered the Dirty Dozen, because the Dirty Dozen were like the throwaway guys. They were sent on a suicide mission, right? Where these guys are probably the same. And like I said, I think Steve and the crew talked about this before a couple of podcasts ago about how they were off the books, black ops kind of stuff. You don't want to send your good guys, snake eyes, and you send these guys in.
I don't think they're Joes. Honestly, I think they're sergeants, guys. They're not Joes.
Right.
Yeah. They just work. They'll just do jobs for Hawk.
Yeah, for Sarge.
Yeah. I need this done. Okay. Sarge goes, okay, boys, let's go do it.
Yeah. Because technically, I have no evidence to back this up, but I suspect high-ranking Interpol pays better than G.I. Joe Grunt. Like, I'm gonna be real, the retirement package is probably superior. Also, so does football retirement package. So I feel as though them leaving their line of work. The only one who's probably mopping floors in the slaughterhouse is Mercer. The other two are probably like.
Well, I don't think Taurus is solely a renegade. I think that he would probably still do Interpol work, and he would continue to work independently. But I think I
was going to say, doesn't his file card say he works with Interpol, but he's not an Interpol agent? Like he just works with them?
He says he was a circus acrobat in Europe who did occasional undercover work for Interpol.
So he's associated with them.
He soon found himself out of work and looking for a sign, wandering the desert and mountains with a circus troupe. So I guess he was no longer doing anything as far as Interpol or anything like that was concerned, but felt the desire to still do those sort of espionage missions.
I mean, if the movie's anything to go on, they look like they eat raw meat. So I suspect they're capable of roughing it when they have to.
I kind of imagine them, like all of them, having done something at these prior jobs that they're no longer welcome. So like Mercer, of course, left Cobra. But maybe Interpol don't want them no more. Maybe they're just too rough and tumble for these other gigs. So they need to hook up with the Sarge. That's their last stop.
Maybe Taurus's last mission went south on plausible deniability. They just said he wasn't one of ours, and they left him abandoned. Yeah,
possibly. The best place to hide out would be in a circus.
It's true, because Interpol is like European, and you know how the British people are. They'll be like, well, he's not one of ours.
Send him into the desert.
Send him into the desert. I never liked his beard anyway, nor his rugged good looks. He's too.
Yeah, I hear that often. Oh, dear me. All right, so for me, I don't think that matches up. I think that the Renegades are more capable than the Dreadnoks. I think that there are more. I think if they were to take on the Dreadnoks, it would be a massacre. I think they would be able to just destroy them like that. I don't think there would be much of a challenge as far as the Renegade.
We've lost him.
I think he's frozen with awesome.
I'll take over. Hello, I'm Zazel, and I'm Australian.
Yeah. Well, he's back. That damn Australian internet.
Day job.
I didn't. I said I wasn't good at voice acting.
Thanks for hanging in there, Brian, and doing a good Zazel impression.
So as far as the Dreadnoks go, and this may seem disrespectful, but I do feel a troop of drunk monkeys could take on the Dreadnoks on a good day because they are just punks, with the exception of Zartan and maybe Monkey Wrench, maybe. You know, the rest of them do seem to be a bit on the trash side. It's like, I got a chainsaw. Oh, stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, they're chaotic and they're destructive, but they're not like highly trained, you know, lots of combat experience. They're just like rough guys, you know, they're brawlers.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan, I'm not bad talking them, mate. I think they've got their place. I just don't think that they're as capable as the Renegades.
I'll defend the Dreadnoks. I think they're just fun-loving, happy guys that just like to have a lot of fun and drink beer. I think they're very capable of doing what they want to do. I think they're like mercenaries. They were in the military and then they decided to be, hey, I'm a Viking now. But I mean, I just think they like to have a lot of fun with a lot of, you know, jelly donuts and grape soda.
Well, how many of the Dreadnoks were military trained? I don't think many.
Well, we don't know. Sure.
Buzzer definitely wasn't. He was university gone.
Zanzibar was some kind of insurance salesman or something.
And to me, Zanzibar isn't a Dreadnok. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm just saying the Road Pig made.
No.
Okay, Road Pig would do some damage.
Well, yes, that would be a tough one. Yeah.
I mean, I think like that's the skills, and I think that it's just they like to, you know, party. But I think when it gets down and dirty and time to get serious, I think they're highly capable. Do I think they can take the Renegades? Probably not. No.
My boy Les down there representing for our girl Zorana.
Whoop, whoop. Yeah.
Zorana could probably take all three of these guys. No problem.
True. In a military combat fashion.
I know, like,
not in a convergence fashion.
Zorana, Xandar, Zartan, they're all like they're all with the Dreadnoks.
Yeah, I don't think that they are the Dreadnoks. So.
Right. That's kind of how I look at them. They're like in this class above the Dreadnoks.
Now that was a ranger or something. He's a marksman. Right? He's actually a trained marksman.
I would definitely say that the siblings would have a better chance at taking down the Renegades than the Dreadnoks themselves. And I like the Dreadnoks, Ryan. I like the Dreadnoks. I'm just saying that there are any three combinations of the regular Dreadnok. I don't think, except, you know, maybe Road Pig would be a tough one, but I don't think any three combination is as strong as this three here.
I think that's fair.
And then you think for Sergeant Slaughter, I don't think of Sarge as a staple of G.I. Joe. I just think that he comes in to G.I. Joe when they need him the most. And I think for the most part, particularly because when he first shows up, the only person that recognizes him is General Hawk. Everyone else is like, who is that? And he's obviously a full-fledged member of G.I. Joe, but I wonder if, you know, he was probably part of G.I. Joe. I'd love to hear a backstory of that. If someone did a comic of that, that'd be great. Like him and General Hawk doing G.I. Joe missions back in the day.
Well, I'd like to see him portrayed in the comic because he barely made it into the Marvel run. But Sergeant Slaughter was portrayed in a couple of different ways. By the time he made it to the Deke series, to like Operation Dragonfire, it was like, is he the leader? It's like he in charge of the whole team? He seemed very official there. But yeah, when he was first introduced, you know, he rolled in because only Sergeant Slaughter's fists can take down the Cobra bats. But he's been portrayed a couple different ways. But in relation to the Renegades, he seems like a bit more of an outsider. You know, a kind of maybe more of a free agent, not a contractor. He'd still be, you know, an official agent, but kind of in charge of these guys that can't be on the books. They can't they don't get the code to the parking lot. That they don't get to go in the building, but they still want them working with the team.
In my mind,
so
I think. Continue. Sorry.
No, Steve. No, go.
Well, I just wanted to say, if you recall the comic book series issue Weeding Out, I believe it is, which chronicles Repeater and Budo and Lightfoot, their entry into the team, Larry kind of missed a trick by not recasting Duke as Sergeant Slaughter. And I think it had to do with the fact that Larry had difficulty working this real-life celebrity who he had great respect for, but didn't really know what to do with him in the comic book series. Like that would have been the perfect way to show us what Slaughter was doing all this time. He was graduating the next cadre or the next generation of G.I. Joes.
I entirely agree with Steve. That's a
great opportunity.
That would have been the perfect opportunity. And if he didn't know what to do with Sarge, well, that's what you do with Sarge. I mean, that's exactly what he's supposed to be doing.
Right. So, well, first of all, say hi to Dan, the Toy Man, and a Toy Kind of Mood. If anyone else has shown up and I've missed you, hi. I'd like to throw down in the chat, Ryan and anyone else in the chat section that would like to chime in, pick 3 Dreadnoks that you think could take on the Renegades. Not take on Sarge, just the 3 Renegades. 3 Dreadnoks. If you we'll discuss it. So throw that in the chat now, anyone that wants to take part in that conversation. But there was also, let me just share screen for a moment.
3 of the regular Dreadnoks.
This guy. Yeah, I mean, yeah, not the.
That's Mercer.
Chow. This guy. Let's go. This. Yeah, it is. Spin me right round, baby. Right round.
I'm gonna say it's Rick. It's always gonna be Rick to me now.
Yeah, I think the way Steve incorporated this version, also known as the $1 Million Merc in my Slaughterhouse Wrestling Championship. That's who I see when I see this now. All right, so Ryan's come in with his. Oh, okay, one of the best head sculpts to come out of that era of G.I. Joe. So Ryan's come in with. We'll talk about that in a moment. But he's come back with Torch, Monkey Wrench, and Road Pig as a combination
as 2?
to go up again.
We get Road Pig, Donald. And then just, I don't know, anybody else.
So I know Monkey Wrench and Road Pig are pretty handy.
Norgahide and Clyde.
They're, I think, the weakest. Oh, yeah, you see, you've missed out. You could have had an animal companion to help out there. But I think Torch is the weakest link here. And the other 2 are I think would be pretty capable. Hey, it's channel member Better A Bub. How are you, legend?
You get Red Dog in his berserker mode. Could probably take down Road Pig.
Yeah.
And let's face it, Torch, he is the weakest of the bunch. You just take out his pack and he's gone. And Monkey Wrench, I don't know.
Monkey Wrench is a tough guy.
Yeah,
like
he's
Monkey
a tough
Wrench,
guy.
like the smartest of those 3 is Monkey Wrench, and
yeah,
like every time I've seen Monkey Wrench portrayed, he always like the others are like low cunning. He's actually devious, which I think is cool for Monkey Wrench, you know.
Right. I think Monkey Wrench, good for like explosives. He's good for all of that sort of, from afar sort of attack. But I'm not sure how he would go in a scrap. Because when the Dreadnoks were all scrapping, he stood behind and let them fight.
Because he's smart.
I just watched The Spy Who Rooked Me, and in it, Monkey Wrench scales the sheer cliff sets up some explosives to blow a hole in a sort of a cave entrance. And like it's got such a short timer, like the fuse is like only yay small, and then he dives. Like after climbing up this sheer face, he dives off the cliff. Like that's what I want to see. I want to see the camera zoom out and see Monkey and it's like, ah! The guy's
all right.
man. Yeah, he gets in the trap big time.
So Road Pig counts as 2 because of the split personality. Okay, all right. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. See, Road Pig first beats you up and then forgets about it, and Donald takes over it and beats you up again.
right.
Between soliloquizing. Donald.
So we got some deep cuts here from JLS saying Cletus, Joe, Bob, and Otis.
I get that one.
They were, if I'm not mistaken, they were later release Dreadnoks, possibly another convention set. All right, Ryan. I will say, even though Torch is the weakest link as far as this is concerned, I do think that is a formidable match against the Renegades. All right. I'll agree with you on that one. All right, but there was one of the members were able to sidestep into becoming an actual G.I. Joe. And we're talking Mercer here, Mercer version 2. Unfortunately comes with a spring-loaded missile, but at least it attaches to his backpack pretty cool. Like, that's a pretty good use of a spring-loaded missile.
Is the only
They were definitely worse BFGs.
Yeah.
Yes.
That and grappling hooks. Those were great toys.
Oh, grappling hook. A grappling hook was the best way to use any projectile. So then, I mean, you can handhold it too, but I reckon it's still way better on the backpack, personally. Chow. So we got.
What is that science rifle?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a BZ something or other. It is based on a real thing. And it should be the size of a submachine gun, but they've obviously blown up the size like 3 times.
It reminds me of those old, I forget what they're called. I think they were called Zebra disc guns. You remember those? They look like Walter PPKs. And they fire little discs back in the 80s now.
I think so. But this weapon is notable for having an extremely large capacity for rounds. I think it can hold 60 rounds in that drum. So it's
right.
It's he means business. He's definitely like a fire support kind of guy with that gun.
It's just an unfortunate color for it.
Yeah, there's that. Hey, at least you're not going to lose it, right?
True.
They seem to have mixed up the Marauders with the Renegades there on the file card.
True, but what if they didn't? What if, because if you were going to be a part of G.I. Joe, right, wouldn't they still expect you to still have a close proximity to Sergeant Slaughter? And so slipping from the Renegades into the Marauders is probably the best and only place you would put an ex-Cobra. But as it says here, Mercer was the only Cobra Viper to defect to G.I. Joe. He originally signed up with Sergeant Slaughter's Marauders, even though we know that to be the Renegades, an outfit so secret that the Pentagon never acknowledged their existence. Then he got over it pretty quick and left and came back to be a Renegade. But they did change his first name to Cecil for some reason. Richard S. Cecil.
From Stratton.
So they really changed up everything except for his code name. So yeah, it's what do we think of Mercer version 2? Did he deserve a spot in G.I. Joe? Do you think that he would have been a good fit for the Marauders? Yeah, let's hear it.
Let's do the card art so it turns slightly into.
I like the figure. I don't like that it's Mercer. I mean, do I think it could be a G.I. Joe? Yes, I do, but I don't think they would let him in because he was a Cobra. And no matter what he did, he's always going to be untrusted. And I think that's why he would be one of like Sarge's like right-hand man, because of the fact that he'd be so loyal to Sarge for trusting him to be there. So, yeah, that's my answer.
I agree with that. I do like the figure though. It's a really nice figure.
Yeah, really nice figure.
It looks great.
So the only thing I think is, as far as whether or not he's the only Cobra Viper, I think Scoop, was it Scoop, was part of Cobra in the cartoon?
That is true.
Wasn't he a Crimson Guard?
Yeah.
Like he and that other guy were Crimson Guards, right? And then they promoted that Crimson Guard to be Alley Viper.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can be
in
wrong,
the Dick universe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Correct.
I think in Scoop's case, it was more of an honorary Crimson Guard status.
Yeah.
It was more a case of like, this guy's strategic. He's a combat reporter. We are going to give him Crimson Guard status, just kind of like an honorary doctorate almost. You don't have to go through the whole Crimson Guard indoctrination process, but we need you. You're in a key position to infiltrate the G.I. Joe team, so hence the Crimson Guard status. So, like, I don't know if you can necessarily say that he was a Viper. So, yeah, I think Mercer's... sorry. Mercer has sole claim to that still. I don't know if Scoop can take that away.
Crimson Guardsmen have a really weird history because they've always been like, so you have like Scoop, he's a journalist, but he wasn't really combat man. But there was also, as I recall, somewhere in the comics, there was a scientist who was a Crimson Guardsman as well, and he was no good at combat either, from what I could see. And then I think there were two scientists who were both Crimson Guard. It feels like Crimson Guardsman isn't really a Royal Guard scenario. I feel like, I mean, according to Larry Hammer, you know, they're more pencil pushers than they are anything else.
I think some of them are. It seemed like Crimson Guard was like their undercover guys. You know, they'd either be the Fred series where they'd get the plastic surgery and all look alike, and they'd be undercover, or they were a scientist, or Scoop being a reporter. But it almost seems like. I don't know, like a job description more than a unit. Like if you're the undercover guy, then you're a Crimson Guard. I don't know if that's the way it was intended to be, but that's kind of sort of the way it was used sometimes.
So I'm a big Dick fan. So what it is like, so in the cartoon, in the Dick cartoon, so you started off as a Crimson Guardsman, and then Scoop stayed as a Crimson Guardsman, but his buddy was also a Crimson Guardsman, and at that time he was actually infiltrating with these monks and stuff like that. But when he successfully infiltrated, he was promoted to Alley Viper out of the Crimson Guardsman unit. So I think he was like, oh, well, wonderful. Now you can pick something. You can pick a specialization. He was like, well, I'm more violent and I like kicking indoors. I'll become an Alley Viper. You know what I mean?
Right. That sounds familiar.
Alley Viper figures.
One more for the road. Dick cartoon.
But as a child, I think one of the best parts of watching that cartoon was waiting for the end and hearing them say the words "Deek," because I just get a giggle out of it every time. There they are.
Thanks, guys.
You're welcome, buddy. So, I didn't give you the Crimson Guard.
Thank you, Matt.
I'm just gonna say Team Viper.
Nice. I don't think they gave him a name though. The Alley Viper. I think he was just Crimson Guard.
No, he kept referring to him as Alley Viper throughout the whole thing. Oh, it's just Alley Viper. And I was like, doesn't he have a name? Fred, maybe?
Ooh.
Alley Viper.
So how do you get out of being a Crimson Guardsman then if you all look the same? I guess if you wear a helmet, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah. I don't think they all go to the Fred series. I don't think that's only certain ones, but
I think they have like different sections of the Crimson Guard. I think they're all just labeled into one. You have your special deep undercover guards. Then you have your guards that are just hanging about the like Terradrome or wherever.
The
and then
ones
you
who
have
get
your
taken out by
it's like
Python.
the one where
Yeah.
Shipwreck
Oh, that was a great shot.
when Shipwreck had the information in his head. I forget. Welcome to Springfield. Wasn't that a Crimson
Right.
Guard trainee that was
He was
interrogating him?
yeah.
Like, well, yeah, right. So like that. I mean, there's just different levels
She
of
could
them.
interrogate me all day.
Cadet Deming, was that her name?
I think that's the
Oh,
thing,
deep
The blue outfit.
Yes, the blue outfit with the yeah. Damn, Steve, you're good.
Yeah, he knows his stuff.
Damn, Steve.
That's all I do, guys. Parenting and G.I. Joe, the two hemispheres of my life. And they're colliding today.
Can we say, though, how cool was it? Sorry, Steve, that you weren't there for that, but how cool was it to have Larry Hama and Sergeant Slaughter in the same building?
Yeah.
That was brilliant. Two worlds colliding. Every time I walked past Larry Hama, I was like, you should have used him more.
That was pretty special, especially since they both seem to be having a really good time. That particular Joe Fest, people are still talking about it, which is surprising to me. I mean, usually by now, people have moved on to other things, but people are still going back to that. I think everybody just had a blast. But yeah, Sergeant Slaughter and Larry Hama, I got to have great moments with both of them. And yeah, having Larry in a good and jovial mood, that just really made a great weekend.
We have lots of pictures of him smiling and laughing. Yeah.
Hans Chow became his best friend.
I could have stole his wallet.
No.
I mean, pretty much.
I mean, got a picture with him and asked him. I should have gotten. I will regret this till the day I die. I should have gotten him to draw something for me. It didn't. You get so stunned and you just forget to say things, and that's the second time it's happened. I hate that. But anyway.
Was he drawing though? Was he doing that? Was that part of the?
He was drawing, and my knuckleheaded self. I should have been like, "Can you draw something for me, sir? Please, anything."
I
next
seem to
year.
remember the Joburg guys kind of having the same reaction when they first met Larry, and then yes, so did I the first time. So yeah, that happens.
I have a bunch of videos of Brian here actually that I should really send to Brian of him doing things. I was like a ninja taking videos of him and pictures of him doing things. But I was meant to. Now it makes me sound creepy, but it's
Go ahead and I'll just blur out all the inappropriate parts before. That's
got me curious now.
Yeah, no,
him getting the Cobra clutch for the first time was prolific, so I felt the need to document it for posterity.
That was a great moment.
Cogs turning in my head now that because there's been a classified series Sergeant Slaughter, and because obviously Hasbro are the rights holders to the G.I. Joe property, which is now moved to Skybound Comics, and Larry's continuing his run, I wonder if the structure of the deal with Sergeant Slaughter with Robert Remus it includes using his character in print media. Is it possible that Sarge can find his way back into G.I. Joe comic books?
Even if they gave him like a one-shot comic, that'd be cool too.
I mean, it's possible. Surely, I mean, if we were privy to that contract, we could see. Can they use?
I'll ask him for you. I'll hit up my best buddy Sarge and go tell us what the deal is.
But that's only part of the puzzles, or you have to then get hold of Larry and plant the seed. Say, now's the time to make these worlds collide again.
Larry has said that he can't talk about the future of the comic right now. He's got an NDA. He can't talk about it. But I think
but you can pour things into his ear. Sure.
That's what I'm thinking.
The deafening roar of the community.
Just like Larry, please, we want to see more of the Sarge. I would like to see a Larry Hama interpretation of the Sarge. We got this much of it, and I would love to see that expanded.
There were one or two panels in the IDW run with someone wearing the smoky hat.
Yeah.
Deep background, but clearly, possibly without authorization. Probably. The artist was probably Robert Atkins or Wes Gallant, but someone was working Sarge in very surreptitiously, without any lines, but he was there.
See you, buddy. Well, he had didn't he have the yellow? He had the yellow tank top in those images. Is that the one we're talking about?
I don't know, but as I say, very deep background, maybe not really colored properly, just kind of just there. You could kind of get a whiff, but maybe Sarge is still in the unit. Hopefully.
Was he in when Snake Eyes died? Spoiler alert. Was he in the lineup of the Joes?
I don't remember. Let me see.
I thought that maybe that's what I'm thinking of. When they're all standing up and they got all the people standing there. I thought that's where I saw the yellow.
What I'm thinking about too. Yeah.
You know what this means? This means that when the new comic does come out, Larry's even said that he loves the letters in the back section, right? So that means you have to inundate him with letters saying, "Please put Sarge in the comic."
Done. Everyone get onto it. Start typing.
Fantastic idea. An old-fashioned letter writing campaign.
Let's do it.
What could possibly go wrong?
If anybody can do it,
It's you have less when you actually have to write. What am I doing? When you actually have to write a letter and not type it, you stop that. That's not what it looks like. When you actually have to write a letter, you find that you have less opportunity to be venomous. So I think you know, and if you are venomous, it tends to be very Victorian. I find you to be uncouth. Rather.
You'd actually do the cursive writing. Say,
you have to do the cursive.
Cursive is a foreign language to a lot of people now.
It's hard to do cursive with a crayon, so I'm out. I'll just type. I'm just going to type. I'll do this one. So I think Mercer was the only character later used in the comic books. Obviously, because of his Cobra connection, he was very easy to use in those sort of interesting stories. I don't remember ever seeing Red Dog or Taurus at all.
There's a random cover with Red Dog.
Oh, okay.
Just Red Dog. The only renegade on that cover. And then the rest are just generic, well, other Joes. I think maybe Snow Job and Torpedo. The usual suspects when you want a nice, diverse spread of characters. But Red Dog. Hey, random.
So that actually reminds me, Steve, when you guys were going through that awesome catalog with the exceptional photography and backgrounds and stuff, a lot of the I can't remember what that book was called. You have to remind me.
The Benelux catalog?
Yeah. Oh, those so good. But in a lot of those images, they were using the Renegades, independently of their connection and just, sporadically.
Just worked in with the Joe team. Well, this is how they were marketed outside of the US. They were not affiliated with Sergeant Slammer, and they were kind of mixed in with the Joes. There was nothing on the card back that said that these guys were separate to the Joe team. So they're just and similarly, the Iron Grenadiers were not given a different billing to the regular Cobra soldiers. So like in photo spreads like that, you wouldn't see Destro's units sort of specialized and on their own. They were kind of just in with, the Targat was in with the Heat Viper, was in with the Night Viper, was in with the Annihilator.
All right, so we've got some people saying that we should definitely write the letters in, and Ryan's asking if
Snail mail, no less.
Snail mail. Oh, a carrier pigeon might be quicker.
Come, my feathered friend, carry this the line.
That'll work. That was even a pretty good impression of a carrier pigeon.
Yeah.
Is there anything you can't do, Hans?
No, I don't think there is anything that he can't do.
No, I think he can do anything, including become best friends with Larry Hammer. All right, so let's put our final thoughts on for the Renegades.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
I fear I've stayed as long as my boy will allow me. He was sitting in front of the TV saying, "One daddy, one daddy."
Okay, that's fine.
I'm going to love and leave you guys.
All right,
Cobra
buddy.
Convergence.
Good to
It's
see you,
on, baby.
Woo!
This has been very exciting. Thank you for having me, Zazel. And what a wonderful group of people to spend my Saturday morning with. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for hanging out. Thanks, Alan. Yo, full force.
Berg.
Bye.
See you, bud.
Oh, that was adorable.
That is
So we'll do a roundtable final thoughts for the Renegades. While Steve's not here, I will just say you should definitely check out the Renegade series. It was originally going to be a 3-parter and ended up stretching out to a 4-parter. There was that much story to be told for the Renegades, which I think surprised us both as we were sort of spitballing the story, that there was so much material that we could take from the Renegades. It was a fun project. It's on the G.I. Joe Berg channel. Do check them out. I know that anyone that's sitting here is obviously subscribed to them. It's worth a rewatch. It's very good. They do have it in a full collection that they did last year. I think it was for what was that one again that we did last year?
I think they just did it recently. I think they put them all together recently.
Oh, all of them together, yeah, in one big super movie. Yeah. Crash is here.
When I was shooting my play motion this year, I had that on repeat on the computer. I must have watched it at least a dozen times. And it just was like, man, they got 10 Fast and the Furious movies. I'd watch this 10 times over that easily. You know?
Oh, yeah.
I mean that series with the Renegades is like added from my own personal universe. It's like it's all canon.
Yeah, that's canon now.
I think our goal was to make people give a damn about the Renegades and not just them be a little subgroup that you could just forget about. Like these guys were adding value to any mission that the Sarge was a part of. So, there it is. Playlist. Thanks, Classified. Appreciate it. Crash, you might be late, but you're fashionably late. Big shout out to Crash for gifting me a USS Flag. How does that happen? Thanks, buddy. I'll be talking a bit more about that tomorrow on my Joe Fest video. But let's go with the Hoodie Coco duo, or the Duo Coco. What do we call you guys?
I like that. Duo Coco.
Duo
I think
Coco.
let's start.
Yeah.
Let's print the T-shirts. That's
Done.
What do you think?
I'll follow you. Go ahead.
I like Mercer. I like Red Dog. Taurus was always just a little too weird for me. Back then as a kid. Now as an adult, he's got like a low cut sort of yellow blouse that he's wearing. And it just seems a little odd. But hey, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. You know, that's what Meatloaf told us.
True.
So, I guess what I would say about the Renegades is subscribe to G.I. Joe Berg and watch their videos.
Done. Perfect. Well, just for the sake of Marianne being able to give us a quick opinion, if you were going to pick one of these as a gift, you can have all 3 if you like. But if you only had one that you had to give as a gift to Brian, which one do you think you would pick up?
I think he needs to become intimately familiar with the one that he's not a fan of.
Oh, yes. Perfect.
Intimately familiar, she says.
That's my girl. That's my girl.
That's it. That's it.
So we're getting Taurus and a bottle of lube.
Oh. Watch out for the horns.
Yeah, it's gonna be awfully uncomfortable. Like, I didn't know this was. I didn't. Frankly, Zazel, I didn't know it was this kind of show. If I had known, I don't know.
Having met Marianne, I had suspicions. I thought that it might go that way. All right, there were many moments.
Would have had a few drinks.
There were many moments I was talking to Marianne where I was just like, okay, all right. Cool. All right, Crash, let's move on before we get too blue. Gazz.
Yeah.
Closing thoughts on our Renegades.
And the Renegades, I think they're double thumbs up action fun. I love them.
Yeah.
They're great. Definitely part of Megaforce.
Oh, they would definitely be a part of Metaphors. Oh, Ryan, the quote of the day.
Oh, come on, Ryan. Mr. Sweeney, no.
That's so good. Oh.
Hold on. Yeah.
I can never find it.
Oh, look, you found it.
Yeah.
Oh,
What
okay.
kind of show is this?
I'm not too sure anymore. I think I'll need to change it to Sergeant Slammer's Slammer House. Han, save us.
Renegades for sure, top-notch characters. I don't like the fact that they're in G.I. Joe. I prefer them just as Sergeant Slaughter's boys. I like the idea of them hanging around there, and basically, whenever new guys would come into the slaughterhouse, they would rough them up, and
Right.
Sarge would get to play the good cop to their bad cop scenario. So they would almost play like this idea, this image of like, well, if you flunk out, you're gonna end up like these guys. But in reality, they're a tight-knit unit. They're actually good guys at heart, and they want to do good, but society has never given them the opportunity to do good. But Sarge has seen through all that, as he's a bit of a roughneck himself, and he's tailored them into something that can do some good. So they do really play opposite. They're juxtaposed certainly to the Dreadnoks, where they're good guys who turn bad. These guys are bad guys who are good, and I think that that's a wonderful opposition to them. I do believe they belong in G.I. Joe. I like the role that they play. I still will stand by the 86 movie being the best portrayal of them we've ever seen, and anything that came after that was kind of meh.
Fair enough.
I will say that there's got to be something said about someone who tries to redeem themselves.
That's true. That's true. So I will give credit to Mercer for that. Thank you for that point. That's I think that's the main point about Mercer. I think that's what you want to say about him. But I also think it's true that since he was a Cobra, the Joes can never 100% trust him.
Yeah.
Well, it's that actually reminds me that when they are trying to escape the Terrordrome, it wasn't Mercer that said, "Let's leave Falcon." It was Red Dog who said, we don't need him. Let's just get out of here. And that's typical, you would think, of someone who was, once a bad guy. Like, you would expect something like that from Mercer. But the fact that they didn't go that way and didn't make him the easy, traitorous. It's not really traitorous, but, I guess leaving your boy behind and giving that to Red Dog instead.
That's an interesting point. So the Joes maybe they'll never trust Mercer because he was a Viper at one point, but maybe they're wrong. What if they're wrong? What if he really has made a full conversion, and maybe he's the most trustworthy of the bunch? I mean, maybe they're missing something by not trusting him.
True.
I mean, Viper, I don't think. Not to go off subject, but I don't think Vipers would leave another Viper behind. I think they still work as a unit.
Right.
Cobra.
Right.
They're not going to be like, oh, let's just leave them behind. We don't need them.
It's a brood of Vipers, right?
Right, brutal. But you got to wonder, they're mercenaries hired by Cobra, right? That's what assuming they are. They're not just like recruits.
Right.
Or are they recruits? Or they recruit these people?
They're recruits. Vipers are troops. They're hired, paid men.
I never really thought of anyone in Cobra being specific to just Cobra. I always thought of it as guns for hire, and you bring them in as for whatever you're doing for that time. But no one's really just staying in Cobra. Brandon really.
They refer to him as the big bad Cobra. When you talk about Mercy, he's a big bad Viper. So the Vipers are pretty badass on their own until they meet G.I. Joe, right? And then they're kind of doing it as every other Cobra soldier does. So Mercer is like a soldier. So he's not going to leave a guy behind. Like, he won't leave Falcon behind because he's a soldier. Whereas Red Dog wasn't a soldier. He's just an athlete with berserker mode. So he doesn't give a crap about anybody. He just wants to get out of there. Like, it's time to go. We got to go.
Another Red Dog moment is that during the training montage, Red Dog actually gives Falcon a hand, doing the chin-ups. So you think, okay, this guy's got some camaraderie with Falcon. But then when it gets tough, they're like, nah, let's just bail on him. Let's get out of here.
So because he's a trained soldier, he's not going to leave an ally behind. Whereas Red Dog again is just
I like that perspective.
Yeah. Well, that's a good closing thought. We'll leave it as far as the Renegades are concerned. We'll leave it there. Marianne, I do want to say it's great to see you again. I've said this a million times, and I'm going to say it again. You were one of the highlights of Joe Fest this year. Every time I saw you, you were doing something. You were busy doing something. And the fact that you were going around with your camera and you were taking it seriously, and I know that you guys are a good, strong team. You guys are, the duo, the hoodie. What do we call you again? Coco Duo, the Coco Duo Coco. But the fact that you went in there and you treated everybody with respect and kindness and friendship, and you were easy to talk to, but also doing the stuff that Brian does for his channel by holding the camera there and going across and doing it not in just a haphazard way, but taking it meticulously to every stall. And I think that's considering this is something that you're only really now getting into and you're only learning about it. The fact that you're not belittling the experience. And I think there are times where we've each come across people that make us try and feel stupid for what we do and try to belittle us and try to make it seem like it's beneath them. But you went in there and you were an absolute gem, and thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brian, you're okay too.
Had a great experience with the whole thing.
Oh, good.
Everybody was so great. It was fantastic. I had a great time. So thank you guys for being so welcoming.
Absolutely. Brian, it was great to meet you in person. I know that we formed a friendship through doing things like this, last year's Cobra Convergence, and now the repeat of that now. But to be able to stand before you, shake your hand, give you a hug, and just be in your presence was a present enough for me.
Thank you. And it was great to meet you as well. And I have to say, I enjoyed seeing how much fun you were having. Sometimes I like to just hang back and see, because people wanted to see you. People were like gravitating towards Zazel. I saw it. You can't deny it.
I'm not 100% sold on that, but I appreciate it.
But yeah, I really enjoyed seeing you, and I was enjoying seeing that you were getting the most out of the experience. So I really hope that you had a blast. You seemed to, so I hope you had a great time.
Well, like I said, tomorrow I'm talking all about it. I'm going to give you guys the good and the bad of Joe Fest. There were some disappointing moments, some detrimental moments. I won't go into those now, but tomorrow will be where I drop all of that sort of stuff. It's not going to be all negative tomorrow. It's going to be a mix, like the truth as it happened, as far as I'm aware. Other people's opinions may vary. Gazz, when we saw you, we all stepped out of line and came running up to give you a hug. The person himself, Gazz. I want to say, in all seriousness, hanging out with you, whether it was just having one-on-one conversations or whether it was in a group, I quickly realized that you're the best of the best. You are the guy that is top-notch, most respectful, least likely to have a negative thing to say, a true gentleman. And when I don't say this just to say it, but I do think that you're the best of us all. And I'm very grateful that I got to hang out with you in person.
I was honored to hang out with you and Hans, to meet you, Brian, and everybody else. You as well, Marianne. I mean, it was such a blast. I was so happy. I was just trying to emulate you guys. That's all I was trying to do. Everybody was being so friendly to me. I was being friendly to them. That's all I could do. Hugs. I don't think I've given that many hugs to that many people in a long time.
Right.
Ever actually. Every time I saw you, Zazel, I think I owe you.
Yeah. I was always coming in for a hug. Get him while I can. I think Hans, I want to say your introduction was in typical Hans fashion. We are all in line when we were there early, and I turn around and up above me, like an angel, is Hans Chow looking over the rest of us, just being Hans Chow. And I think Hans, for me. So don't jump, don't do it. But Hans, you turned out to be the one person that was exactly how you portray yourself to be. On camera and in real life, Hans Chow is Hans Chow.
Yes, he is.
It was refreshing. It was delightful. It was honestly if you're in Hans Chow's orbit, then you feel like it's electric. Yeah. You have that electric personality, and if I could be anywhere seated near you or around you, that was I was both surprised and not surprised at the same time to find that you were as you are, if that makes sense, and I mean that with all due respect.
I thank you very much. Joe Fest is the journey there, the saving, the unspoken and unseen sacrifices that were made to be there by everyone is certainly appreciated, top to bottom, by me. I mean, Matt, Gazz, yourself, Chad, Adam, everybody I met, Crash, Joe, Kelly especially, who I met before Sarge, everyone. It was just man, I got home and I told my wife, I don't know. It's like I'd forgotten what it was like to be happy, like at some point it's a facade, you put it on. I am a pretty cheerful guy around the place, but when I was there, I was actually the smile. My face hurt every day because just smiling. And I got home and I saw my wife, was happy to see her, happy to see my kids, but I was like, I don't think I've been that happy in years. And I was like, yeah. And there's that whole idea of whether it really happened or not, which I kind of live with every day now. And I really hope that, we don't got much time here. We ain't got that much time, but you all made such a mark on me. And I carry it every day. Every day I'm always like, yeah, what are you laughing at? Yeah, you gotta be there. Those moments, every day I carry
what
them.
an adventure.
Yeah. Pictures and videos are still on my phone, and every now and then I'll pop it across and skim through everybody and be like, yeah, we were there. And man, yeah, I know it's gonna happen again. I don't have anything to back it up. I know it'll happen again. And thank you for making my life better, all of you, because you did. Everybody.
Thanks for being there, buddy.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Tomorrow, thanks, guys. That was brilliant. I'm glad we didn't script that. So tomorrow will be Woodman 29. He's doing a review. So go check out his channel for that. Kicking off on the reel first for you guys. So check that out. Also check out the website HC788. Did I get that right? HCC788.
That's it.
For the full lineup of what is happening. There we are. First thing in the AM. Woodman 29. First thing in the AM. Check it out one time, won't you? And then put it on replay and watch it again.
Absolutely. Thrilled to have Woodman in. Thank you for being in. And I will be up and looking for it first thing in the AM so I can share it with everybody.
Brilliant. And don't forget to check out the website so you can see everybody and where to go. Yeah, what a great year to be a part of Cobra Convergence. So many great people. And a special shout out to Rob Vegas, who is an official part of Cobra Convergence this year. And last year did one every single day. Unofficially did it just because he loves it.
Yeah, and thanks, Rob, and thanks for being in. Thanks for actually joining us this year. So, yeah, links are on that calendar. Check out every single one of them. You can go check them out now, but also when they're calendar day comes up and they will have their presentation, their entry in Cobra Convergence. But hey, just to be on the safe side, go check, subscribe, follow, get ready so that you don't miss it.
Yeah. Beautiful. All right, guys, we'll leave it there. Don't forget, tomorrow is my Joe Fest expose. I'm going to say what I really think about Marianne, so check that out.
Oh, I'm
It's gonna get messy, but I hope to see some of you guys in that live stream. I'll be there with Space Commander, and Space Commander is going to be like the everyman, that wasn't there. He'll be like asking me all the tough questions, and I'll be giving all the honest answers. So I'll see you there. HCC788, the duo. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Hans, Chow, and Gazz. You guys go hand in hand after watching you guys at Joe Fest. It's the dynamic duo in your own right.
my buddy.
Yeah. Oh, thank you everybody in the chat as well. This was fun. One of my favorite topics is Sarge, and I'm glad I got to talk about it in a roundabout kind of way, right? All right. Goodbye. What video am I going to play on the way out?
Number 2.
Oh, you know what? I'll play the Sarge video again so that people can see the website. All right. Goodbye.
Listen up, maggots. Welcome to the slaughterhouse. Perfect. Attend. Hunt. Okay, these maggots. This is Sergeant Slaughter, and I've been informed that there's some kind of Cobra Convergence happening here at the slaughterhouse, and I, Sergeant Slaughter, have come to put a stop to it. I've re-enlisted with the Joe team.
Hey, Sarge.
What?
Fan event.
What?
Fan event.
Fan event. Fan event. Fan event. Oh, fan event. Well, why did you say so in the first place? The Cobra Convergence is a G.I. Joe fan event. Well, I'll allow that. So carry on. But you, Hooded Cobra Commander 788, I, Sergeant Slaughter, am keeping an eye on you. Is that clear, slime ball?